Okay, so you clicked on this video because you're probably tired of being told calories in, calories out is the only way to lose weight. And maybe, like me, you have tried a million times to follow the calories in, calories out diet, and your body just refuses to cooperate. If you have been tracking, doing HIIT, eating clean, and the scale still won't budge, you are exactly who I made this video for. So here's what we've all been told. If you eat fewer calories than you burn, you will lose weight. It's science. Just track your food, stay in a deficit, and boom, weight loss. Simple, right? And if it's not working for you, well, you must just be lying about what you're eating and you just need to move more, eat less. Except, what if you have done everything right, counted every calorie, hit the gym, meal prepped, hit your step goal, and still your body just said, no, I'm good. Even at 1200 calories, what if the problem isn't you? It's that calories in, calories out completely ignores the hormonal chaos happening inside of your body, especially if you're a woman, because that is exactly what happened to me, especially if you're over 30s, dealing with PCOS, hyperthyroid, Hashimoto's, or perimenopause, even, or simply sitting at a desk all day with barely a second towards exercise. In this video, I'm breaking down why calories in, calories out failed me and why it might be failing you too. We're talking about the real reason why your belly fat just won't budge, why eating 6 meals a day was possibly the worst advice ever, and what actually worked for me after years of feeling dismissed and exhausted. This might be the perspective shift and the solution that you have been desperately searching for. Quick intro, I'm Kim. I've lost over 12 kilos, which is over 26 pounds. I've kept it off for over a year now. I'm still recompositioning my body, building muscle, losing fat, and improving my own metabolic health. I have never found it this easy to enter a fat loss phase and maintain, even without putting a second thought to my nutrition. I spend hours every single week researching nutrition based wellness because I am obsessed with understanding how the body actually works. I've even helped my mum reverse her prediabetes with my nutrition plan. So, yes, I have been in the trenches and I'm here to share what I've learned. Let's talk about when your body breaks the laws of thermodynamics. So, let's start here because this is a story that I hear all the time, and it was my story as well. About 5 years ago, after losing 8 kilos on a typical calories in, calories out diet, I was working with a coach, getting down to about 63 kilos at the time. I'm 170 centimeters tall. I started having vivid dreams about food. My body was just screaming at me. And once I entered my first maintenance phase, I tried to eat normally, but my body fought back and I binged hard. I gained all of that 20 kilos back and I way overshot where I had even started my diet at. But here's where it gets infuriating. I tried to diet again multiple times, even with the same coach and the same plan that had worked before. Within 2 weeks, my body just adapted. I was getting to the point where in 2 weeks I would plateau and then I would start gaining weight, even while eating less and less. I was eating about 1,500 calories a day and just still somehow gaining. And if you're thinking, oh my God, that is me, I swear I'm in a deficit, you are not crazy. Your body just isn't playing the calories in, calories out rulebook anymore. So here's what's actually happening. Issues like insulin resistance, PCOS, thyroid dysfunction, and chronic stress can drastically impact how your body stores fat and how it accesses it to burn for energy. Your body isn't a calculator, it's a complex hormonal system. And when these hormones are out of whack, calories in, calories out just becomes like a cruel joke. Here's something that most people don't know. The way that we calculate calories comes from a machine that's called a bomb calorimeter. And scientists put food in a sealed container, they set it on fire, and then they measure the heat that it produces. That heat measurement becomes the calorie value on a food label. But here's the problem, you are not a bomb calorimeter. You are not a machine that burns food to produce heat. You are a living human with hormones, a digestive system, stress responses, and a million other factors that your body just doesn't process 100 calories of bread the same way that it processes 100 calories of steak. Different foods trigger completely different hormonal responses. They affect your insulin differently and keep you in either feeling full for different amounts of time or not so full. Treating all calories as equal because that's what a lab machine says is oversimplified and misleading. So if you've been dieting hard and now your weight won't budge or you're gaining on less and less food, It's not your fault. Your body just might be experiencing metabolic adaptation or resistance. This is where investigating the root cause becomes far more important than just cutting calories again. But here's what made me really mad when I figured it out. One of the biggest reasons why my body was stuck, I was doing something multiple times a day that was literally locking my fat in place. So let me explain. Okay, so this is a big one. All my previous diets that I had ever tried ignored insulin. And once I learned about it, I realized why I had failed. Here's the deal. Insulin is your body's key fat storage hormone. When insulin is elevated, your body is not burning fat. It is using the energy from what you've just ate, and it is storing the rest if you've eaten more than what you need. I was eating 6 times throughout the day on these previous diets: breakfast, mid-morning snack, lunch, afternoon snack, dinner, dessert, all equaling up to about 1,600 calories. If that sounds familiar, I thought I was doing everything right. And because my calories were low and I was eating healthy-ish foods, it was if it fits your macros. But because I was eating high carb, low fat meals and snacks, I was spiking my insulin about 6 times a day without giving it anything filling to actually keep me full until my next meal. All day long, from the moment I woke up to the time that I went to bed, I was just preventing my body from actually fat burning. I was constantly giving it fresh food for energy instead of letting it tap into stored fat. The only time I was actually burning fat would have been at night when I finally stopped eating, maybe 8 hours maximum. I gave my body time to rest. So think about your own eating schedule right now. Are you snacking constantly? Are you eating healthy carbs every few hours to keep your metabolism revved up? Every time you spike your glucose or your insulin, you are hitting pause on fat burning. And it's like trying to drive with the parking brake on. And the thing is insulin rises when you eat either carbs or sometimes with protein. It doesn't really rise when you're eating fat. Here's the other massive issue. Every time I spiked my blood sugar and then it dropped, I just became ravenously hungry again. So I was constantly battling hunger because I was creating this like really brutal glucose roller coaster. And not only was I not burning fat, I felt like I was just starving all the time. So food timing matters just as much. You can eat the right calories, but if you're constantly spiking your insulin, your body really never gets a signal to burn fat. It's not really about willpower, this is just biology. And when doctors or personal trainers say to eat less, move more without addressing insulin and things like meal timing, they're just missing the point, especially for women over 30 dealing with a whole range of hormonal changes and conditions like PCOS. And speaking of conditions, if you have certain underlying issues that so many women don't even know about, then that situation can get even worse. Here's something I didn't know for years. I likely have PCOS, specifically the insulin-resistant type. My doctor says I show all the classic signs. There are actually 4 types of PCOS: insulin-resistant, inflammatory, adrenal, and post-pill. The insulin-resistant type makes me more sensitive to things like that spike insulin, like sugars and carbs. So all of those healthy whole grains and fruits, they were just working against me the entire time. And if you've ever felt dismissed by doctors who just tell you to eat less, move more, when you know something deeper is going on, I see you. You're not lazy, you're not undisciplined. Your body's just dealing with something that the standard calories in, calories out advice was never really designed to address, especially when so many of the traditional scientific studies were done on males. If you have PCOS, thyroid issues, or are in perimenopause, or deal with any kind of hormonal imbalances, your body can process food completely differently. And that's not an excuse, it is a biological reality backed by science. A shocking number of women are walking around with undiagnosed insulin resistance or PCOS because symptoms get brushed off like as just getting older. The thing is, these conditions completely change the game when it comes to fat loss. Once you understand what you're working with, you can finally stop spinning the wheels in your head and start making progress. Okay, so here's what finally clicked for me after years of struggling. I completely changed what I was eating and when I was eating it. First, I shifted foods to foods that actually keep you full and satisfied for hours, not the stuff that leaves you hungry 90 minutes later. This is nutrient and fat dense, satiating foods that don't send your body on an insulin roller coaster. The kinds of meals where you eat it and then you're just done. You're not thinking about food again for hours. My favorite breakfast right now is simple. It's about maybe 4 eggs, maybe some bacon, maybe some avocado. And recently, I've been turning that into a tornado omelet. Then I completely changed my eating schedule. Instead of grazing from morning to night, I'd give my body actual breaks from food long enough that my insulin could finally drop and my body could finally tap into the stores of fat. I vary my fasting windows between 16:8 and 18:6 and sometimes even 24. If I'm feeling adventurous, I might chuck in a 36-hour fast to unstick some stubborn fat. My fat is incredibly sticky, and so I often have to do a bit more extreme if I do want to lean out. And here's what shocked me: I wasn't hungry all the time anymore. My obsessive food thoughts were gone, my energy stayed stable, and the weight just finally started coming off and staying off. The answer isn't eating less of the same foods, it's eating different foods at different times. It's about choosing foods that work with your insulin instead of against it and giving your body actually time to burn. I'll link some helpful resources in the description to help give you some starting points on this journey. Here's the deal: there are many ways to lose weight, and the method that I'm sharing is based on science backed metabolic principles, how insulin works, and how your body accesses fat stores, how meal timing impacts hormones, but you still have to do what's right for you. I'm sharing this because I've been exactly where you might be right now, feeling just stuck, frustrated, feeling dismissed, and convinced that my body was broken. I literally remember my coach saying that I likely gained a whole kilo of weight in 1 week because I had one small glass of wine. So you're not alone, you're not broken, you're not lazy. Your body is dealing with a whole range of hormonal situations that the standard calories in, calories out diet completely ignores. If you're curious about the specifics, the foods, the timing, the science, I've got more videos in my list for future upload. So just make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss out on those. Hit the like button, and if this resonated with you, please drop a comment with your thoughts or questions. I read every single one of them. And something really important to note is that throughout this whole journey, I switched to an animal-based diet. And if you are interested in knowing more about the pros and the cons, then you will love watching this video next. See you in the next one.